Outside, Lester and Earl were hitched at the wagon. Wing and Raven exchanged befuddled glances. A considerable time had passed since entering the joint, and these two didn't just stand and halter. Neither Shaft nor Slag was around to say goodbye, but they had sent parting sentiments and several seriously jumbo jugs of clear liquid that were being loaded. Got one last chance to take the bayonet back. Offer was kindly declined. The small group watched Wing adjust the reins and climb to the seat. He nodded to them. They nodded back. Come on! Find the road! A slight slap of the straps gave Wing and Raven a little choreographed rollback, and the wagon moved forward, taking them. Let's go west! And they did. A few turns of the wheel, a corner is turned, and all the children of the coal-hole are there. They ran around the side of the mound Snake Oil Sales was navigating for a parting peek at the perpetual stranger, gathered like a crowded stand of silent willowy white birch trees on a windless day. So morbid a sight still could not stop their intense joy from being felt. One of the slender slivers stepped out, and the show rocked to a stop. Dear sir, our poultry is stuck. You have lingered and are late for leaving to your next destination. We've no right to ask. One hop to get to ground. So good to see you. This is where I'm always going. And this wag. Poetry is for the biggest bullshitter, not for a pencil to paper people like us. What's the difference? The biggest bullshitter believes his bullshit. We believe in bullshit, but never believe our bullshit. That's just too much bullshit. The giggles were fun to hear. Lester and Earl's pleasure in hearing them pulsated. Then please, would you wag a thought about life and injury, if you would, for us? Yes. Raven didn't really understand how this man came up with material. He thought he knew it took him a long time, and figures they were going to be here for a while till that happened, as his tall-tale friend moved to a group of rocks that formed a natural theater, helping the littlest one's 2 seats. Once, on a winter snow-on-the-ground day, I was working. Sky was clean and clear, without moving air, like today. My excitement for my task made me careless. Were you drinking? A squiggly little turd playfully teased. Such a rascal. Everyone giggled. Well, a little, but it only serves to focus me. Some people need a distraction in order to concentrate. No, I wasn't obeying the rules of tools. Working on a machine while it was running. Was taking all the proper precautions except the most sensible one, shutting it down. The machine malfunctioned. It did not respond to the position the controls were set in. The augers were still cutting. Lucky to be wearing gloves, or I would have had to chase my fingers across the field. But as it was all in one place and able to start composing immediately. Butts were squeezed as they stiffened, rising up in anticipation. Wing stood to his full height and gripped his lapel, proper oratory fashion, moved as if to speak, but was moved with motionless action, and instead a dramatic pose. So tantalizing, the title, Little Drops of Blood. The gentle group squealed and squirmed like they were sharing their seats with ants, with tiny acorn knuckles crushed into lips and lots of little white cotton ball feet swinging. They waited for the first words. Little drops of blood, follow me where I walk. Hold my hand together with my hand. Go for help, it's so hard to talk. There is no pain, only a deep, deep calm. My memories are clear, my mind is sharp, my finger gone. Everyone rubbed a spot on themselves. They had not learned about shock from a lesson. They all knew about this from experience. I took a momentary lapse and let my mind go. My parting thoughts were I'd be better off if I just went with the flow. But while picking my finger up off the floor, I took a new thought. Ha ha! So that's what brains are for! Bent his finger into his palm at the knuckle, then pointing the stub and the phantom digit straight up. He was inspired! Looked silly! The children copied him and understood to their souls. Clumsiness in its many forms. How true! We grow so enchanted by our actions that we think they are entitled. Then we put our hand in the grinder and realize that only us keeps us safe. Funny to feel embarrassed by the hurt done to ourselves, but right at that point we become as smart as we should have been before the mishap. We start living in a way that if we were living that way, we wouldn't have hurt ourselves in the first place. We do this to stop the harm right where it is. If you get smart just after the accident, it's not too late to stop further loss. Wing leaned forward, face growling a diabolical look. The crowd cringed back, pressing into the knees behind them. They hugged and shuddered in anticipation. But this is how you die if you're a man. Just little pieces of your life in hand. You place your body parts in the grave with everything you do wrong. Buried, one finger at a time, all your life long. The drama did not disappoint. During each incident, you'll stop and make a new plan. Good thinking now will keep this from happening again. This would all go so well if you had only one thing on which to dwell. But in the variety of what you do, there are an infinite number of snafus. Plenty of time to be waylaid by some other fall or blade. Everyone nodded their complete agreement to each other. There was nothing you could do, so what could you do? Keep your spirits up. Never be depressed. If something happens you can't crawl away from, there is always death. But while you can dance and jig, drink from the jug and eat from the pig, round the campfire good songs should roll. Well, till some poor fool falls in the embers and lets his eyes go. Damage without death. It's the Grim Reaper's poor nephew that has just visited you. He's not strong enough to take it all. He could never fill his uncle's shoes. It's just tally marks, one for each scar that he'll take back, and he has many of these of which to keep track. His grim uncle, on the other hand, dressed in his cloak and carrying a sigh, has to go home alone for most of the days of a man. And we laugh at him and make fun of his clothes, even though that's not nice. But screw him! He don't get to win twice! There was no need to soften sentiments for these ancient children. Done. Wing walked right into them without bow or recognition that he had recited it all. Is it ever exactly what you want?